Hey, it's Christine Grace. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another reaction video. Like the video on your way in, let's get straight into it. So Leonarda Joni is someone who I've seen gaining a lot of popularity lately. I'm sure she was popular before I came across her, but she's been appearing on my feeds more and more. She is a comedian and I have seen a few clips of her here and there. She's made me laugh every time, and I just came across this video that is gaining a lot of traction, which is titled "Women Are a Word That I Can't Say" on YouTube. So yeah, it's got all the right boxes. It's ticking it all for me. I think it's gonna be really funny. Let's check it out.
Welcome to the Leonarda Joni Show. Today we're going to be talking about retarded women, which some of you might say is redundant. But I guarantee you we're not all retarded. Just some of us, especially those of us that have been totally had by the Marxist feminist agenda that has pretty much destroyed women's brains. We'll be starting with a few topics today. The first one we'll be starting is this video I came across that was covered by Woman Propaganda. That's the guy, right? He does a lot of reaction videos if you guys want to follow him on X. He's got some great takes. He's pretty funny. They're what would be considered...
Can confirm he is very funny. I have also watched quite a lot of his content.
You know, conservative takes, but like actual conservative takes, not this gay fake conservative take.
Honestly, I wish I could get away with saying the stuff that he says on YouTube, but there is no way Google would allow that kind of stuff.
Where they're like, we like trans people that vote Republican. It's like actual funny stuff. So he found this video on TikTok, which I thought was kind of unbelievable. And I want to talk about it because, you know, listen, when I do this stuff, I'm trying to warn other women who might be misled by goblins like this, okay? Rule number one, ladies, don't listen to an ugly woman.
She's so right.
Got it? Ugly women are not to be trusted. They want to destroy you and your relationships.
Yes, it's all true.
Because they're ugly. So they can't stand to see good-looking women prosper. So number one, you have to stop with the bullshit. Everybody's beautiful. Some people are ugly, okay? And it's like God's warning you, don't listen to this goblin. Number one. Number two, don't listen to fat women.
Oh, this is just why I love this lady.
Which kind of ties into ugly, but you know, not every fat woman is ugly, but a lot of ugly women are fat, okay? But just don't listen to fat women either. Fat women will always tell you the best way to lose weight, which already is like... So let's just take the...
Want your wife to start walking around half naked again, then stop trying to jump her every time she is. My husband loves when I walk around in my underwear, but there was a time I couldn't even get dressed in the same room out of fear of being grabbed and fondled. Here's...
Why would you be afraid of your husband doing that to you? Are you not attracted to him? Could you not get someone you're attracted to?
Was that time when you were younger and hotter? She's about to tell you that she trained her husband how to not touch her, and the truth is she just got ugly and fat. That's actually what happened. And now
yeah,
she wants to make it like, oh, that was my idea. I didn't really like being touched and grabbed.
This is what he did to get me to act more like I did when we first started dating. First, he had to make me feel comfortable enough. Now, it's no secret. You love getting a little glimpse of your wife changing or showering, but do you always have to act like a little boy who just got the last cookie from the cookie jar? My husband stopped trying to jump me every single time I was half naked. My husband loves when I walk.
Once again, because you got ugly and fat. That's why. I don't know what you think you did. All right, let's just finish this up.
Getting ready in front of the bathroom mirror. He stopped.
Just cheat, bro. Just cheat on her. Did you?
She said he stopped. I'm just going to mute him because I don't have the original video, but I want to talk about. I mean, this guy's funny, by the way. But I want to read what she says here. Okay, he stopped smothering me with his words and groping me every time I was getting ready in front of the mirror, grabbing my vagina on the outside of my clothes, or making sure I saw or felt his heart on every time he got one. By the way, most women don't want any of this. Stop speaking for us. You're ugly. Don't tell me what I want.
Honestly, like, I feel like if someone is like crazy about you and then all of a sudden like that stops, you're gonna be like, why? You're not gonna be happy about that. You're not gonna be like, oh great, like, no. I agree. Stop speaking for us.
Show more confidence and less desperation. Bro, I really hope to God that this woman's not actually married. And if she is married, I don't know, man, that poor guy has been totally
being deprived
down by a below mid. Let's zoom in on that. I mean, look at that, huh? Look at that. She's talking about to the guy be less desperate and more confident? Where are you getting where are these ugly women getting their confidence from? I want to know. Seriously. Fat women, I know, they get their confidence from black dudes and Puerto Ricans hitting on them.
Oh, I told you she was funny. I told you.
But ugly women, what is it? Is it the Mexicans that are coming in and hitting on you that make you think you're special? Mexicans can't see your face because they can't recognize different faces on white people, just the same way we can't recognize different faces on them. So they just see blonde hair, they think she must be hot.
Yep.
Okay, she says this thing, which is the most ridiculous thing ever. She says, no woman likes to see your heart on every... That's a lie, dude. Now, if I'm riding the subway and some grizzled, mentally ill, homeless guy wants to show me his heart on, no, I don't want to see that. But my husband, the one that I married, the one that I'm supposed to be attracted to, the one who's supposed to be attracted to me, yeah, I want to see his heart on. I want to know that he still gets hot for me. I want to know that I'm still attractive to him. How can that be a bad thing? This is what happens when women don't have any problems. They have to invent them. She literally has everything. How do I know? Look at the sleeve tattoos. She probably runs some bake shop in a liberal town like Portland that charges $7 for a cupcake, totally detached from reality. So now she's got to invent problems. My husband gropes me too much. I don't think she's attracted to her husband. That's what I think.
That was my first take. I don't think she's attracted to her husband, because why would that bother you? Why would that bother you? It's like that saying, you know, the only difference between, you know, a normal guy and a creep is that you're attracted to the normal guy.
The problem is, I don't think she's attracted to her husband, and she doesn't want his sexual advances. So she's going to make up this story for manipulation, by the way. Hey, if you want me to start walking around naked again, stop groping me. Well, what's the point then? What is he supposed to do? It's just about power and control. I just want you to know. This is about women needing to beat down men, needing to make them feel small, because there's something she doesn't want to be with him. Okay, here we go. I'm going to let it out here, okay? Because this kind of shit pisses me off. There are a lot of women who marry dudes because they provide a kind of financial security for them. And I'm not saying there's something wrong, right? Because this is a natural dynamic, right? Men marry women for the biological opportunity that they create for them to have their kids, under the assumption that you're going to be loyal to them, which even that's going out the window now, right? So that they can trust that their kids are theirs, right? And women marry men who can provide for the offspring that they're going to give them, okay? Mm-hmm. Very natural for a woman to not want a loser. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's important for women to find a good, stable man who can provide for them. However, we have a grossly materialistic culture, and everything is so inflated price-wise that now women have completely disregarded any other kind of concerns and are just looking at how much money can this person provide me. So this happens a lot. You have a lot of chicks in their young age just banging everything along the way, right? And a lot of it is because of propaganda that they've downloaded into their brains that tells them that if they want to be liberated, they need to be free whores, right? At least whores charge money for giving their body away. You are doing it for 2 drinks.
She's so spot on.
Once they get through with that, they go, oh shit, I need to find a man who's going to not cheat on me and is going to be there around. And then they'll usually pick a guy who's not a winner, but's got stability and financial stability that he can provide. So that means they're usually not very sexually attracted to the guy, and they're willing to put up with it for the money. So it's just another class of prostitution, right? Then what happens, right? What they'll put out in the beginning, right? They're selling the product and all that. Then they get married. They're locked in. And they're like, don't touch me. I don't want you to touch me. Because you have a deep hatred of your man and a resentment. You resent him because you think he's pathetic and weak because he didn't see through your little act that you're just using him for his money. It's pretty gross, actually. It's pretty freaking gross. So when women react like this to a man, it's usually a man that they got into a relationship with for some other reason than love and attraction. That's the truth. That's the fucking truth, okay? Because when you love your man, you want him to touch you because you want to know that he desires you. Women, we can't really build our self-esteem by ourselves. We can't. Sorry, I know we can't. That's why we're social creatures. We need social approval. We need that to make us feel good. That's why hot women usually have higher confidence than ugly women. Now, we live in an inverted society that praises ugly, fat lesbians, but aside from that, the truth of the matter is that usually the more attention you get from society as a woman for your beauty, the higher your confidence is. This is why ugly women like this will attack beautiful women. They're trying to take them down. Okay? Then she says this thing. Stop groping me. Stop smothering me with his words. That's such a female thing to say.
So honestly, smothering me with your words. So it's like such a violent word that's been attached to words, like making it seem like it's this dangerous, violent act, but it's literally just air coming out of someone's mouth.
You're smothering me with your words. The words that say, I love you, and I'm attracted to you, and you're what I want, and that's why I married you, those, smothering me with his words. You're a whore. You don't deserve a stable man. You deserve to be ran through for the rest of your life, just like you were in your early 20s. Let your sleeve tattoo tell us. She's going to leave this guy. She's going to leave him. That's what's going to happen. You know, the poor guy is going to put up with, men put up with a lot. I'm just going to tell you this. Men are usually not the ones that end relationships. They are usually the ones that cheat, although in this modern age, everybody's doing it.
Yep.
Men will cheat because they'll feel like they need to go get their physical needs met, but they don't want to leave their woman. They have a strong sense of loyalty. They're like dogs. They're very loyal. Okay? So he's going to put up with all this stuff, and we live in this, you know, feminist tyranny, which doesn't afford him any rights, and also makes him feel like he needs to cater to every one of his wife's whims or he's going to lose her. This is a mistake, guys. This is a mistake. You need to have clear boundaries, and you need to let her know, I'm going to grope you anytime you want. If you don't like it, go pay rent somewhere.
And I absolutely agree with that. And I know that there's a lot of people that are like, whoa, like, no, that's not right. That's not right. No, the truth is that if you're attracted to your husband, you're not going to have a problem with that. So if someone has a problem with it, it's a red flag. It should show you that they're not with you because they love you and they're attracted to you. You can't love someone that you're not attracted to in, you know, the sense of a romantic relationship. You just can't. Because, like, okay, you might have that loyalty there, you might have that responsibility there, but to really love someone, to really be crazy in love with someone, like, naturally you're going to be attracted to them. So for someone to not want you touching them, that's a huge red flag. That is a sign that they're not in it for you. They're in it for something else that you might be able to provide. So run. If they aren't okay with that happening all the time, run.
Within reason. Okay, obviously if your wife's sick or she's sad or something, you got to
Yeah, the nuance is, you know, relevant. Don't just start groping your wife at a funeral.
Control yourself, okay? Obviously. And I'm, you know, being a little facetious, but this idea that, you know, here's this other thing she said. It's so pathetic and patronizing. Here we go, okay? Let's just watch this part one more time.
No secret. You love getting a little glimpse of your wife changing or showering, but do you always have to act like a little boy who just...
Yes! Yes, because he's so excited he got you. Men are visual creatures. Women can't understand this. Women, we're not really visual creatures. And I can't blame us. Have you ever seen balls? They're nothing to look at. It's nothing good. Men's bodies, they're lumpy and weird. Women, you know, we have a shape, we have a form, we have a silk most of the time. Some of you are eating yourselves into oblivion. Let's cut that out. But women, naturally, they have this, it's called feminine beauty. It projects fertility, all the things of life. And men love that. They've been biologically programmed to be visually stimulated. Thank God. Thank God. Because women, we can't handle rejection. Imagine if you got naked and your husband was like, oh, can you put some clothes on?
Oh my gosh.
Then you would feel bad. Then we'd have a whole other video about how your husband's taking down your self-esteem. See, your husband gave you too much self-esteem.
Yeah.
Now, what you don't understand is your husband knows that you're ugly. He just loves you, so he's never going to tell you that. And he's grown to love you so much that you've become attractive in his eyes. And he is showing you that through his affection and his attention. And you're shaming him for that? You deserve the life of lesbian cat solitude that's coming to you.
Got the last cookie from the cookie jar. My husband stopped trying to jump me every single time I was half naked.
Yeah, because you got ugly and fat. That's it. Yep. Because you got ugly and fat. Now you're going to pretend like it's because you came up with a whole plan and you talked to him and you made him respect you. Nope. You're just ugly and fat. And those tattoos don't look so good on you anymore because you're not 25. That's what it is. And you're out here trying to give a bunch of advice to a bunch of other men so they can also become losers, like the way you've beaten down your husband, and they can stop groping their beautiful wives, and then it can be a normal thing that men don't do that. It's not just because you got ugly and fat.
And you can take the man's resources without having to give nothing back, essentially. And then it can be the social norm, and everyone can do that because that's what you want. You want this feminist tyranny that she's describing.
Because you've taught men how to behave. Yeah, men don't grope women and lust after them because it's a natural male instinct that has propagated the survival of species. No, they're doing it because of toxic masculinity. And they haven't been taught any better. Women need to stop trying to teach men things, first of all.
Yeah, I agree.
Look at how well that turned out in the Bible. Now we're here.
She's so right, though. She's so right.
They're being run by satanic Jewish pedophiles. Great. Awesome. Awesome.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, it'll be interesting to see how long this video stays up for.
Thank you. Thank you. Cut it out. There's more. There's more wonderful things from women that we can see. And by the way, I'm not one of these people who wants to blame women for everything or wants to blame men for everything. I think that kind of shit is bullshit. It's global elitist propaganda to drive us apart, make us hate each other, and make us believe that the other person is totally responsible for the other person's problems, okay? A lot of red pill male stuff that happens online is really just male feminism. Women are so evil, they've destroyed us, right? And feminism, men are so evil, they just want to, grope us. It's the same thing, and we need to stop doing that. However, I do agree that you got to call out bad behavior on both sides, okay?
And you have to be able to acknowledge where the majority of problems are coming from, I'm never going to say that all women are responsible for all problems, but I am going to say, hey, you know what? It's become normal culture that most women are able to behave in a disgusting manner and not get called out for it. It is the majority of women.
And some of these hoes, they're wilding out. They've gotten too much. We've given them too much rope. They're walking around saying all this crazy shit. They have confidence that they have no business having. They think they got to teach everybody and everyone how to behave. No. Here's another one. I was married, by the way, everybody, Garbage Human, great account. He's got a lot of funny stuff he posts. I was married for 15 years. Only after our divorce did I realize I'd never consented to sex. Now, this sounds like it should be a satirical article, okay? But this right here is why people are not believing women anymore. When you say shit like this, when a woman actually gets attacked in that department, people don't believe her anymore. People want to think all women are liars. People want to think all women make stuff up. This is crazy. You need to be locked up. You never consented to... Give me a break, okay? And the truth of the matter is, women don't like to initiate sex, okay? They don't. Part of the seduction is the man desiring you so much that he makes an effort and makes a move. That's part of a woman's aphrodisiac. That's what it is. Now, sometimes, it's true, we got biology too. Stuff starts happening, we're like, hey, right? The way a woman initiates sex, she just gives him a little glimpse of something. That's it. She doesn't. Women don't do all the men. Think about it, ladies. Think about it. Think about how much effort your man has to put up on a regular basis to get you in the mood. Think about it. And think about if you would do the same the other way around. You don't have to think about it. Think about how many times you've given your husband a little hint and he didn't pick it up and you were like, forget it. Forget it. I'm not putting myself in that position to be rejected. Okay? Meanwhile, your man's got to be all like, ooh, I love you, kisses, hugs. And you're like, stop it. I'm going to go to sleep. Stop it. I'm tired. Stop. You're being... And then eventually you're like, all right. But, that's part of the dance. Okay? But if it was the other way around, the first time he goes, oh, I'm kind of tired, you're like, why doesn't he love me anymore? You start crying, weeping, thinking you're ugly, okay? So you can't be saying, this whole feminist liberal ideology that is like a mind virus into women's brains and makes them just turn into the worst kind of people towards their husbands and their partners. This has to go. This is what happens when women don't have any real problems. They have to invent them, okay? 100 years ago, when our grandmothers were washing clothes by hand, dealing with losing babies to illnesses, dealing with real problems, having to farm and milk the animals, they weren't sitting around with free time, idle time, to come up with things that are problems, okay? Men have idle time. They write books. They build cathedrals. They start all kinds of things, sometimes wars. Women start thinking about why their marriage isn't perfect and how, you know what, all those years of consensual probably weren't even consensual because now I regret it.
Yeah.
More stuff we really need to talk about are the lies that women create. So there's a website, I guess there's Facebook groups that talk about, are we dating the same guy? And this is like, I gotta tell you, this is like the witch covens of old. We're a bunch of banshees who don't have men in their lives and want to invent that it must be a reason besides themselves, start talking themselves into believing that the guy that they dated or want to date is some kind of asshole, okay? So this was posted by a user who said, my little brother got posted on one of these Facebook groups for our city yesterday, 110,000 members. Just a screenshot of his Hinge profile saying, anyone talk to this guy? To give you an idea, my brother is pretty douchey looking, which means attractive. That's all that means. He's probably a good looking, straight white male, which thanks to the Hollywood movie industry, now equates to must be a douchebag. That's it. That's what it means, okay? Because you're threatening to a bunch of ugly women who know you're going to reject them. Mm-hmm. That's what this is about. So even this girl who says my brother's pretty douchey looking, even she's been taken over by the mind virus. But he's genuinely a cool guy who treats women respectfully. Usually attractive men are like that. They don't have to be mean to women because a lot of women want them. And usually the women that are mean to them are pretty ugly. So she continues, there are 150 plus comments so far. About 4 of these comments are actually from women saying they have met him or gone on a date. The rest are insane, wild speculation. A ton of commenters deciding he must be a serial cheater based on his appearance. A few comments saying he's probably gay. Typical woman, she's going to get rejected, must be gay. My brother sometimes works on weekends. One of them says, I matched with him, but notice he was slow to respond on weekends. It's pretty clear he's hiding something. See, what did I say? Women can't handle rejection. So this woman feels like she's been rejected, right? And now it's got to be because he's hiding something and we have to make something up. So many were gleefully critiquing his appearance, everything from his heavily scrutinized and mocked, from his facial feature to his fashion sense to his beard and everything in between. This was surprising to see since women usually seem to think he's handsome in real life.
This right here is why I will call out that there is a huge problem with women in society today, that it is predominantly a female issue. The reason why you have to be so careful with female issues is like, okay, men, you know, typically they've got that whole hierarchy thing going on. They've got the competition going on. Who's going to be the guy at the top? But women, they will cluster together in large numbers. I mean, just look at this. Over 110,000 people are in this community. This is just a regular guy who's good looking, and he is now being publicly doxxed. For what? Existing? Do you know what's so crazy to me about this whole thing is that she says, I just matched to this guy on Hinge. She's not even his girlfriend. If she was his girlfriend, then at least, you know, I don't agree with it, but at least she would have some kind of precedence to say, like, I want to check that I'm not being betrayed. But she's asking if anyone else is talking to a guy who is available. So the trickery here is that, okay, like, he is available. So first of all, he should be allowed to be talking to as many women as possible because, like you, who's probably talking to a lot of guys, he's trying to find a partner. He's, you know, playing the field. He's browsing the catalogue, so to speak. But you know what's so funny? This is the trickery, right? Is that if no one responded, if no one said, hey, yeah, I've spoke to him, he's matched with me, you would lose all respect for him because you'd think, maybe he's not that good looking because you're so desperate for the approval of other women. Maybe he's not that good. Maybe I'm actually above him because if he was better, then surely he would have more matches. So it's a catch-22. You know, a girl responds, he's unfaithful, he's a serial cheater, he's a douchebag, he's a bad guy. But no girls respond, maybe he's not that good then, because why aren't other girls interested? It's like the whole married man complex. Men who are married are far more attractive to women than men who aren't. Why? Because, okay, like, he can provide, he can look after someone. It's like the whole biological thing of, you know, women will flock to the leader of the pack because he's already got, you know, women that he's taking care of. So it's like he's clearly capable. So if he's capable of taking care of these women, he's capable of taking care of me. Obviously, we're not animals anymore, so it's not really the same thing nowadays, but you can see this kind of thing still playing out, because I guarantee you, if no women responded to this, the original woman who made the post probably wouldn't talk to him anymore. So it's a catch-22. You can't win. And I absolutely agree with what this lady said about how it's like the modern day coven. Because it is. It's just, you know, it's evil.
This was surprising to see, since women usually seem to think he's handsome in real life. Not surprising at all, actually. Because he's a good-looking dude, I can guarantee you that most of the women who were saying this were lower in attractiveness than him and know that he would never want anything to do with them. And because of this, they must feel like they are in the power position because they're the ones rejecting him. Oh, he's probably just going to cheat on you. He looks like a douchebag. He's probably gay. What is he really doing on the weekends anyway? Old hag shit, okay? Spinster shit, okay? Go look. I guarantee you can go look at these pictures of these girls. Once again, brings me back to the point I started with. Ladies, do not take advice from ugly women. They want to destroy you. So what they realize is this guy is attractive. I'm not going to be able to have him. So if I can attack him to the other girls, I can signal to them that they shouldn't date him either. Then when none of the hot chicks date him, he'll come around to me. Yeah. Women are scheming. If you think this isn't what's going on, it is. Now,
absolutely it is. And it's been going on since the dawn of time.
I don't know about this because I'm an attractive lady and I've never had a problem getting a man. My problem is, I don't ever make eye contact because I've been taught that if a man really wants you, he'll find you. Now, what that usually encourages is psychopaths. Psychopaths don't need you to signal them because they're going to get you whether you want them or not. See, normal guys, ladies, they need a sign. And you thinking that you like them and they should know is not a sign. They can't read your mind, no matter how it seems. You've got to look at them in the eyes and smile. I know it's hard. I know you think you're going to die if he doesn't come over. You might have to do it a few times. You might even need to say hello. You've got to be an invitation. Sometimes, some guys are not going to want that invitation. You're not going to die. A lot more of the times, guys are going to want the invitation because they don't really get it. Men are treated like shit. They're expected to be beat down time and time again and still be able to get up and approach you. Recognize this and you'll be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
You don't have to knock him down. You don't have to tell all the other girls how gross and ugly he is because then maybe you'll get him. You just have to smile and be kind and not be a raging bitch who tells your husband that if he's sexually attracted to you, there's something wrong with him. That's all. More on the takes of feminism. Okay, looks like a very nice girl. You think, all right, this is a good one. Well, hold on. I don't want to bang. I banged like 60 guys and two.
There's no, do you know what? Sometimes I think like there's no way that these accounts are real. But I know it probably is. That's what's really disappointing. It's almost like I don't want to believe that they're real.
Semesters, I need love, mother bangers. Ha. Okay, ladies, here's a lesson you're not going to like. Body counts are different for men and women. I know that the feminist agenda has convinced you that in order for you to have value, you must act and behave like a man. But you're wrong. Here's the mix-up in your brains. You think that the things you find attractive in men are going to be the things that men are going to find attractive in you.
Nope.
Okay? This is the absolute irony of feminism. It claims to elevate women and give them equality to men. And it starts from the assumption that the things that are unique to women are not valuable and must be discarded. This is why it's such an insane death cult, and you do not want to ascribe to it. Here's what I mean. Let me break this down a little bit, okay? This woman is saying, I slept with 60 guys, because she thinks she's signaling to the men, hey, look, I'm desirable and attractive. Look at how many guys I've slept with. You should want me. Why does she do this? Well, because in a female psychology, when we see a man who is desired by lots of women, we go, oh, he's desirable. My fellow witches like him. There must be something great in him. Quick, let me get him. This is why women are attracted to married men. Somebody else has vetoed him and screened him and affirmed he's quality. So we want him because somebody did the work for us. Here's the thing, ladies. Men aren't the same. They don't need a social consensus to know what they like and what they want. So they don't need 60 other guys to have ran through you to know that you're valuable. Their brains don't work the same way, okay? In fact, it's the opposite for them. Let me get to that in a second. Men will like you and evaluate you based on their own criteria and judgment. I know this is a foreign thought for us because we need community approval. We need community consensus. That's why when you put women in charge of companies, decisions don't get made. Everybody's got to agree. We all have to come to a consensus. We have to talk about how this feels. And then it's 2 months later and the company's bankrupt. Okay? That's why men are uniquely suited to leadership positions and women are uniquely suited to raising children. That's not a knock. Feminism has taught you that being uniquely suited to raising children is not valuable. What a load of shit.
She's so right.
So when you say to men, I've slept with 60 guys, they're not registering it the way you are. They're registering it as, oh God, everybody's had this woman. I don't want it. Why? Let me explain a little something to you. Men have pride and they have possession. So I know feminism taught you, you don't want to be a possession of your husband. That's another load of shit. If you're a possession of your husband, he feels a sense of duty to you, a sense of duty to protect you, to care for you. Why? Because you're his. Think about the things that you own. You want to maintain them and keep them well. If it's somebody else's car, you don't care. You're not going to bring it to the car wash. So it's not a problem. But when 60 other men have had you, you've now been the possession of 60 other men. Suddenly, this man can't have that kind of pride. If he takes you to a barbecue and 3 of the men who have had you there, he's going to feel like a cuck because he's going to know that they've seen something that should have been his. Mm-hmm. This is why women were traditionally virgins until marriage, and men weren't. You can say whatever you want, but our society has fallen, and it's fallen specifically because feminism convinced women that this was a bad thing, that it was a bad thing to make sure that the guy you were going to give your body to would give you a commitment for life to take care of you and be with you.
Honestly, it's just absolutely ludicrous when you hear it put it so simply. And this is what I'm constantly trying to get people to understand, is that we had it so good. We really did. And feminism will try and convince you that we were chained, that we were oppressed, that something really bad and abusive was happening to us. It's like, no, we literally had it so good. We were already like the pinnacle of society. Everything was around keeping us safe and making sure that we had the facilities and capabilities to be safe and take care of children. Now, we basically decided we don't want this position anymore. We want to be like you guys. We've got into the position where we are like them. And now we're like, why aren't you still treating us like we're these safe, precious objects that need to be kept safe? We literally did this to ourselves. We did this to ourselves. And the recurring theme here is that women are never happy. We're never happy. We're not happy when we are getting everything that we want. And yeah, that's just it. You give women what they want and they're never happy. That's the lesson to take home here.
That instead, what you should do is give your body freely to men who give you nothing in return, have accomplished nothing, and aren't even going to call you the next day. Whoa. This is why a lot of you feel so bad after casual encounters. You can see plenty of TikTok videos of women walking after, crying, going, if this is right, why does it feel so wrong? Mm-hmm. You have to unpack this because the feminist propaganda has brainwashed you against your own instincts. It's told you that your instincts come from social manipulation. This isn't true. Your instincts are trying to tell you something. The brainwashing is trying to take away your instincts so you will do things to harm yourself.
Yeah.
Like sleeping with 60 guys and then broadcasting it. Don't do that. The other reason women think that this is an accomplishment is because we intuitively know that it is hard for men to sleep with 60 women. Harder, right? Yeah, the top classes of men, sure, okay? But most men aren't in that. So if a man says he slept with 60 women, we're like, whoa. Now we think somehow it's the same accomplishment the other way around. Here's why else that's not an accomplishment. It's very easy for women to get a man to have sex them. Super easy. So easy, you could walk down the street and find 3 willing men before you reach the end of the block. Here's the other issue. That doesn't mean that those 3 willing men are quality men. So you're advertising that you slept with 60 men, and I can guarantee you that the majority of those men were not high caliber men, because if they were, you would have tried to lock them down in a relationship. That's the truth. So Sarah, okay, if you want love, I'd encourage you to take a period of chastity and repentance and realize the way that you have been lied to and the error and folly of your judgment, and start to love yourself enough to not just give your body away to somebody who buys you a couple of drinks. Let's see what else we got here. See what this woman's saying.
Oh, I've seen this video. This is a really good one.
Okay, realistically, if I want kids by about 28, but I want to be married for probably 2 years before having kids, I need to have a husband and be married by 26. And then I'm going to be engaged for probably about a year, you know, to plan the wedding and do all that stuff. So I need to be a fiance. I need to be engaged by 25. But then, you know, usually before you get engaged, you're probably dating the person for about 2 years. I feel like that's a good amount of dating someone.
You don't have to do that.
That means that I'm going to have to basically meet this person by 23? 22? Wait a second. I'm very much single. So how is this gonna work? Because my plans are getting a little, like, I actually have to meet someone tomorrow to have this be my life.
Yeah. If that's everything that you want and the timeline and order that you want it in, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there we go. The feminists have lied to you, ladies. I'm sorry. You know, it's hard to come to the reality of the truth. I didn't until very late in my life. I'm fortunate because I'm attractive, but it doesn't always happen. Youth is beauty. I was way more attractive when I was younger. Well, maybe not because I was fat, but you guys get the point. Okay?
I wonder how old she is. She looks good. She looks great. I would say she's like 29.
Now, look. If you're older, I don't want you to take a black pill and feel like all hope is lost, because that's what the demons want. They want you to be despondent and discouraged and black-pilled. No, but it should be a wake-up call, okay? The truth hurts when you're living in a lie, because you've got to stop everything you're doing and make a change, which is very difficult, and you have to face the reality of the losses that you have suffered as a consequence of living in a lie. And the longer you live in a lie, the more consequences there are. That's the truth. So the best time to have woken up was 10 years ago. But the second best time is today.
Yeah.
Because you're cutting the losses that will continue. They will continue. And this young girl is realizing that, hey, actually, I don't have all the time in the world. And if I do want this plan of getting married and having children, I need to start doing that now. And this is the reality, okay? And the truth of the matter is, despite all of the propaganda that's been pushed into your brains, girls, you do want to get married. You do want to have kids. Most of the time. And those of you who don't, you might want to check the Zio-banking programming that has made you into an antinatalist. We've been suffering
Check if you're on birth control for a start, then come off and see if you still agree in 4 months.
this for the last 50 years. My generation had it the worst. Okay? Thankfully, Gen Z is sort of waking up and realizing some stuff, but you guys have some other difficulties like the economy. But once again, keep faith, persevere, because there will be a way made for you. Just trust it. That being said,
She's a millennial, so she's probably like early 30s, I would imagine.
have to come to the reality of, what do I really want? Do I really want to be out in the city every night getting drunk with my girlfriends because it's fun? Or would I like to start a stable life with someone, have some children, raise a family, and have a fulfilling life? Think about it, okay? Most women, if you give them the option from being the boss bitch that they've been told to be, but you don't have a family and you don't have kids, or not being a boss bitch, but being married to a guy who can provide and having a family and having kids, if they were honest, they would tell you that they would pick this option, because this option is pretty lonely.
Not knowing what's going on in my business. That's what keeps me up at night. The fact that we run on Monday.com and that it takes our day.
And not just for women, it's actually pretty lonely for men too. The reason that men try to succeed in business is so that they can attract a good mate and raise a family. That's the truth. A life without a partner
We were made for each other. We're not supposed to be alone. We would literally cease to exist if that were the case.
and without children and without a family is pretty lonely. Okay, all you have to do is look at those 40 plus women that are over 40 and are now like having cats as pets and convincing themselves that they don't want this, and they all have to be on anti-anxiety medication to bury the reality of what's going on. Okay, and I don't say this with a light heart, and I don't say it as somebody who hasn't had to do the same things. I say it out of love and compassion, which you're not going to get from the Marxist feminists who want to destroy you. But if you really think about it, you do not gain anything from fun. There's nothing to gain. Nothing. Fun is like eating cotton candy when you need a meal. Going out drinking and having a casual hookup with somebody who you're never going to see again is the cotton candy. It's great the first couple of bites, okay? Then you wake up and you have AIDS.
I was going to say, like, you know, you feel sick, it gets a bit sickly, but that works too.
So think about it. What are they really selling you? Okay? As someone who lived in New York City in my 20s and was out there, you know, hanging out with the girls. Now, I wasn't going around doing, you know, all the shenanigans that they say. But I was in denial about the reality of what I wanted. Deep in my heart, every time, it'd be like, okay, am I going to meet somebody solid? Now, like I said earlier, I couldn't make eye contact, so the people I met were psychopaths. I married one of them. That was a horrible situation. But the truth was that deep in my heart, I wanted to find a partner. That was the truth. But I couldn't face that because feminism told me that that was a wrong and sinful desire, that somehow I was weak for wanting these things. And the culture, the whole culture is built around teaching girls that it's weak to want to get married and have kids and have a family. What a load of shit. That's why girls will always try to be cool, right? Oh, I'm cool. I'm a cool chick. No, we don't have to talk about being serious. I don't want to be that weird, creepy girl. Ladies, nope. Don't let the men take advantage of this and ruin you because of it. No, you lay down the law. Nope, I'm not here doing casual stuff, okay? You want to be with me sexually? It's going to involve a commitment. You know what's going to happen? A lot of men are going to walk away. Good. You're not losing anything. Let me tell you something. A man who walks away from you when you say, I will not be intimate with someone outside of a committed relationship headed towards marriage, only had bad intentions for you. He's selfish. He's looking to use you. He never thought anything serious of you, and he certainly didn't respect you. So you didn't lose anything, even though it's going to feel like that, okay? And what this does is it frees up your time from being used and abused by people who
Which is only damaging you anyway, because then the good guys aren't going to want you.
Don't have good intentions for you, who are only thinking about themselves and their own bodily pleasure. And it makes you be able to discern which guys are of this intent so that you can sift them out and find the ones that are serious. The second thing it does is it raises respect for you in the eyes of this men. So some of them are fade away. Some of them are just kind of lost and confused too, because remember, they're suffering from the same propaganda we've been suffering from. And they might realize that, wait a second, well, I might want something more. Well, let me get to know this person. Then you might get to know each other and realize, it's not going to really work. Once again, free up your time from being wasted. Because otherwise, when you get physically intimate with someone, you're going to get bonded. And even if you're not right for each other, you're going to waste each other's time for a long while before you're willing to walk away. And then, you know, it's like years down the road, and maybe the person who would have been right for you got married to somebody they shouldn't have got married to too. Right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff. And why on God's green earth am I telling women this? Because God has given us a special ability. We have the ability to not be totally run by our libido. Men don't have the same ability. They've got to develop this, and it takes them a little while. But the reason that women have been given this ability is so that they can protect themselves. Can you imagine if we were just as horny as men are? It would be really hard to screen out these guys who want to use you. So, you know, there's wisdom.
But there are women who genuinely don't understand that. They genuinely think that they have the same libido as men.
In the divine plan is what I'll say. Okay? And the last thing that I'll say is it seems that feminism has the only liberation that feminism seems to have brought women is the liberation to sell themselves back into sex slavery. Because every single girl, the minute she gets free, seems to be going on OnlyFans and selling her body online. Okay? So this chick said, the lowest grade I got in college is this, fast tracking to get a graduate degree before becoming a mother. See, the eventual goal of being a PhD. Why do you need a PhD? You need a PhD to be a mother? What are you going to do with that? What's your real intention, okay? Now, I'm not saying that women can't have PhDs and they can't make contributions to science and philosophy. There are that. Most women aren't going to do that. Most men aren't going to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Most men are going to work a job that's going to help them provide for their families. Nothing wrong with that. Some men are going to be high-level thinkers, analysis, and leaders who are going to change the world. Can't be all men, can't even be most men, because it doesn't work that way. Most women are just going to be mothers, if they're lucky, and raise the next generation of children. There's nothing wrong with that. Some women are going to be high-level thinkers, philosophers, and leaders who are going to help the men change the world. That's the reality. Okay? So, the biggest psyop we have put on women is that all of...
This just reminded me that I saw a tweet yesterday that really made me laugh because it's true. And it was most women, it was by a lady called Sarah Stock. And she said most women can't accept the fact that God created us to be the sidekicks of men. And it's true.
them have to be career boss bitches, and if they're not, they've somehow failed. So this woman feels like she has to get a PhD on her way to becoming a mother, when the truth is she just wants to be a mother.
Yeah.
Second tweet, just got my tuition bill, guess I have to do corn now. Okay? And I'm not going to show the picture because it's going to be a YouTube video, but she basically shows her boobs with some nipple covers. You want to be a mother? Seriously? Any man with any sense is not going to want you to be the mother of his children.
Yeah.
Because if you have a daughter, you're going to teach her the same morality you want. And the last thing men want is for their daughter to be used the way you were. So you're going to find a beta lower tier male who you're not going to respect and who you're going to say things to like, do you have to grope my body every time you see me half naked? That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So girls, the lesson is don't be like this. Don't fall into this trap. And if you have, pull yourself out. Pray for help and pull yourself out, because it is possible. It is possible to turn your life around, but you've got to realize and come to a reckoning of the reality of where you're at.
Yeah. I think she is a pretty good role model if you want someone who's straight talking. I don't know if it's going to resonate with a lot of modern women, especially the ones of her generation, you know, the millennials, because they're so soft and, oh, you're hurting my feelings. But I feel like Gen Z, like there are some of us that can just take things a bit more. We're a bit more harder around the edges. So I think she's great. I absolutely love her. It's just a shame that it's always the best videos that don't reach the audience that it's intended for. But hey, that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comment section. As always, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up on your way out, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with all of my content. If you have a video for me to react to, you can send me that over on my various social media platforms, which are in the description, or by sending me an email. And if you'd like to consider donating to the channel, you can do that by becoming a member here on YouTube. I do have a members community where I post videos only for the members, or you can donate by clicking the link in the description at buymeacoffee.com. All of your donations mean a lot to me, guys, and thank you so much for making all of this possible. And on that note, I will see you very soon in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.